In the early 1990s, a man named Dave was driving home from a late night shift at work. The rain was coming down in sheets, making visibility poor. As he drove along a deserted country road, he saw a young woman standing by the side of the road, drenched and shivering. Feeling sorry for her, Dave pulled over and offered her a ride. The woman, who introduced herself as Emily, was quiet and appeared deeply troubled. She told Dave she lived just a few miles down the road. As they drove, Dave tried to make conversation, but Emily remained mostly silent, staring out of the window at the rain. When they reached her address, Emily thanked Dave and got out of the car. As she walked away, Dave noticed she had left a scarf behind. He decided to return it the next day. When he arrived at the house the following afternoon, an elderly woman answered the door. Dave explained what had happened and showed her the car. The woman turned pale and explained that Emily was her daughter who died in a car accident on that very road years ago. She had been trying to hitchhike home on a rainy night when she was struck by a car. They were shocked and didn't know what to say. The woman insisted that every few years someone would come by with the same story, having given Emily a ride home. In the late 1970s, a family in rural Texas experienced a terrifying encounter on a rainy night. The father, James, was awakened by the sound of knocking on the front door around 2 a.m. Thinking it might be a neighbor in trouble, he got up to answer it. Through the peephole, he saw a young boy about 10 years old standing in the pouring rain. The boy looked lost and scared. James opened the door and asked the boy what he was doing out so late. The boy said he had gotten lost and needed help finding his way home. Feeling uneasy but compassionate, James invited the boy, and James went to wake his wife Mary to help the boy. When they returned to the living room, the boy was gone. The door was wide open, but there were no wet footprints or any signs that someone had been inside. The couple searched the house and the surrounding area but found nothing. The next day, James mentioned the incident to a neighbor who looked horrified. The neighbor explained that a boy matching that description had gone missing in the area years ago and was never found. He was last seen on a rainy night, knocking on doors, asking for help. The neighbor believed the boy's ghost still roamed the area, trying to find his way home. A woman named Sarah was home alone during a thunderstorm. Her husband was away on a business trip and she was feeling a bit anxious with the power flickering on and off. Around midnight, the phone rang. When Sarah answered, she heard a faint, static-filled voice on the other end. The voice was that of an elderly woman who sounded confused and scared. She said she needed help and gave Sarah an address before the line went dead. Disturbed by the call, Sarah decided to call the police and report the incident. The police traced the address to an old house on the outskirts of town. When they arrived, they found the house abandoned and in disrepair. However, they discovered that an elderly woman had lived there many years ago and had died under mysterious circumstances during a storm. The most unsettling part was that the phone line to the house had been disconnected for decades. The calls Sarah received seemed to have come from beyond the grave, the woman's spirit reaching out for help one last time on a rainy night.